If you have fine or thin hair and have ever wondered if extensions might be a good fit for you, but you're worried about them damaging your hair or being too costly, well, I have a solution for you. I'm going to show you how I went from this to this. Today we're working with pre-looped micro link extensions from the brand GooGoo. I'll walk you through the step-by-step process, the pros and the cons, my tips for best results, and then help you decide whether or not this is a good option for you. So this particular option, the micro links that are pre-looped, this is super convenient because they come ready and prepped to be installed. I've also worked with this brand's seamless tape-in extensions, which is also a really good option. I did a video on that and I will link it if that is something that you are also interested in. For reference, this install took me about 35 minutes and that includes me trimming them. They sent me their application kit, which included a pair of pliers and a loop tool. You probably have a pair of pliers in your toolkit that would work just fine. And in this case, our beads are pre-looped, so you will not be using or needing your loopy tool. Before I show you how to do this, let me tell you who this is and isn't for. This particular DIY method is best for somebody wanting to fill in the front areas of the hair. If you are wanting to do something in the back, I personally, and I'm a professional hairstylist for over 24 years, wouldn't feel comfortable putting these in my hair. So if you had help, you can definitely do that. Somebody with fine or thin hair, but not too fragile that the hair can't support the bead in the weft. Somebody who's comfortable with working in small sections and having a little bit of patience definitely goes a long way. As with any extensions, proper technique does matter. If your hair is extremely fragile or compromised in any way, this might not be the best option for you. All right, so let's get into the step-by-step. As far as the hair prep, you're gonna wanna start with clean, dry hair. You're gonna wanna avoid anything oily or any serums at the root. This will help prevent any slippage. All right, so for sectioning and placement, what I did for my particular placement is I sectioned up the mohawk section. I wanted to make sure that I had enough hair to completely cover the beads without having to worry about if my hair separated or having the beads be exposed. I also determined that I probably was only gonna do about 2 rows, so I could just fill in the front of my hair where it was a little bit more sparse, so I could get a little bit more structure for my blunt haircut. Take small sections about the size of an eraser on the end of a pencil. You wanna make sure that the hair going into the bead should match the diameter of the hair that's in the extension. No more and no less, and I like to take circular sections versus square or rectangle. This helps prevent any tension. As you can see, I'm taking the pre-loop section and pulling my little section of hair through it, and I'm sliding it all the way up. I am taking a firm grip on my hair and the silicone bead, and then I'm doing a little loop-de-loop. As you can see, the little hair is looped through. Then you're gonna wanna take your pliers and slide up and then clamp it. You wanna make sure that your clamp is tilted downward so you don't have any hair bowing out. You want it to lay as flat on your head as possible. Make sure that you are leaving about a 1/4 inch of space between the bead and your scalp, so that there isn't any tension. If you clamp the bead and you feel tension immediately, you're gonna wanna go ahead and fix that now and declamp the bead by taking your pliers and popping that bead back open, then readjust your bead and then go ahead and clamp it again. Sometimes you will need to take that out and completely start over. These beads are silicone lined, which is perfect because they are a lot more gentle and help it grip the hair. You also wanna make sure that you're leaving about 2 fingers worth of space at minimum behind your extensions. Otherwise, you'll be worrying about the extensions showing through, and this particular hair around your face is a lot more fragile. So those are 2 reasons why I avoided going closer to my face. Also, again, avoid placing your extensions too high so you don't have to worry about them coming exposed when your hair separates. So for cutting and blending, I happened to forget my professional shears at home, so I used my sewing shears, which ended up being just fine, mainly because it allowed me to work in smaller sections, so I was a lot more careful and I didn't end up overcutting or cutting into the extensions more than I wanted to. So that is actually something that I would recommend, is getting yourself a sharper pair of small sewing scissors. I actually thought that I was gonna have to use my professional shears and recut my line, but I didn't end up having to do that. Now, if your hair is on the longer side and it blends into your hair a little more seamlessly, you might not even have to worry about cutting them at all, but clearly, I was cutting off a decent amount of length, and the shortest that the extensions come is in a 16-inch. So if you have short hair, be prepared to cut them. And if you don't feel comfortable, I would go ahead and ask your stylist to go ahead and give you a professional haircut so you don't end up ruining the extensions themselves. Now make sure after each bead that you check for comfort. If you feel any tension or it's too tight or they're twisted in any way, make sure that you take care of that now. Just pop the bead back open, readjust it, and then reclamp it. As far as tips for longevity and maintenance, these are my pro tips. My first tip is to sleep with your hair in a loose silk scrunchie. If you do not tie your hair back, you're gonna risk the beads and the hair moving around, which will cause a little bit of tension and possibly some breakage, so definitely make sure that you are pulling your hair back. Next, make sure that you're using the proper hairbrush. You can go and look for an extension hairbrush, or make sure that you're just using one that has a mix of boar bristles and nylon, and just be super gentle when you're brushing your hair. And if you have a lot of beads and wefts in your hair, just hold up here when you're brushing all the way through if your hair is really long. That will just help relieve some of the tension, so you're not pulling and tugging too hard. And lastly, make sure that you are never going to bed with your hair wet. Always make sure that it is 100% dry. Now, as far as wear time goes, expect to wear them for about 4 to 6 weeks. Their website does say that they can last anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks, but it really does come down to how well you take care of your extensions. So if you are very gentle and you take very good care of them, then you can expect them to last closer to 6 to 8 weeks. If you notice any slippage, tangling at the root, or any discomfort, that is the sign to take them out and redo them. Do not push past that. If you are looking for a little bit of extra fullness without committing to a full salon install, this could be a really good option for you if done correctly. It is definitely not for everybody, but with the right hair type and the right goals, it really looks amazing. I will put a link in the description below where you can find these particular extensions. If these aren't a good fit for you, they have a lot of other choices, so definitely check that out. I'll also put a link in the description of my tutorial on the tape-in method. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up, save it for later, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any more of my fine hair tips and tutorials, and I will see you in the next one.